Tilo's Business Corner. Once again, we have a great special guest for you, and today is Valerie Grijalva. Hi, Valerie.
Tim, how are you?
I'm good.
It's so good to be here.
I know.
Hello, everyone.
So we're going to party together and give you guys some good information, but first, I want you guys to understand who I've got. She is one of the top in the real estate industry for Las Vegas, and so I'm going to just read a little bit for you, just because she's got so many accomplishments. So, Valerie's been in the real estate industry for over 2 decades.
Oh, God, you're making me feel so old.
I said
know,
decades.
I know. You did say decades. Never say decades when a female is around.
Okay,
luckily, the camera's far enough away that you can't really see the decades of years.
So she's 22 years old now, so she started when she was 2 years old, just so you guys know.
Just baby.
Okay, so she's currently the vice president, sales manager for Chicago Title. Is that correct?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Right on. So year over year, she's in the top 1% for the whole nation.
Yeah, so it's interesting because Chicago Title is part of the Fidelity National Company. So there's a plethora of companies under Bill Foley. Many of you know as the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
So Bill Foley is our CEO and chairman of our company. So yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know.
That's kicking some booty.
I know. You think we'd get a little bit of perks like behind the scenes, but you know we don't get any of that.
We're gonna have to go watch a Golden Knights game.
We're gonna have to go watch a yes.
Well, if they finally bring us back
I
to
know,
where we can see them.
They will.
Yes.
Yeah, soon.
And so, okay, so let's go on. What else she's got going on? So let's see. For us agents, she brings out like the best resources for all of us agents.
Thank you.
So I've known her since at least 2001.
Yeah. Be careful on how we're aging ourselves.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the pumpkin patch and how we used to run into each other at the pumpkin patch when our kids were little. Now I actually just go to the pumpkin patch to get a pumpkin.
She's like, I'm out. Give me my pumpkin and I'm bouncing.
Give me my pumpkin and get out. That's how I am now.
But Valerie has always been there for the Las Vegas community. One of the coolest things I think she's put together is the Joe Grijalva Memorial Scholarship. So that helps underprivileged high school seniors with college tuition, and that's in honor of her dad.
Yes, that's very near and dear to my heart. It's just a small part I play in hopefully future success of our young professionals hope to be, and all in honor of my father who passed away in 2017. So that's probably my best and biggest accomplishment is being able to carry his name forward through the scholarships. That's
so neat that you're able to bring that for your dad out to the community and help out the community that way. That was really cool. And here's another really cool one. So she's also an honorary commander out at Nellis Air Force Base. For the
Go Blue. Go Blue.
Which group is
F-35.
it?
So F-35 Division 42259 Squad. Woo! But yeah, very respectful of all the military branches and those that serve. So just fortunate enough to be named an honorary commander out there, and that next to my father's scholarship has been probably the highlight of my career. It's just been the most fun getting to know the community out there and infusing Las Vegas in with our Nellis family.
I used to play volleyball with some of the people
really?
were pilots out there. They were
Is it
good.
like Top Gun?
Man, some of those dudes are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, they're not out there doing.
They're not doing the flexing.
No, not at the time.
You don't have the right ones then.
I know. Maybe they're at your crew.
Yeah, you don't have my pilots.
Yeah. I'm afraid they might beat me at volleyball. So
that's true. They're so athletic. Those guys. They're amazing.
Yeah, those dudes, and they're so witty too. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's a different breed. Nellis, any part of the military. I think if I wish I would have joined the military. That's my one wish. I wish I would have done. I wish I would have joined the military when I was young.
Yeah, me too. That was. I was actually going to go into the Navy at one point, and they did all my medical testing, and I'm one of those kids that had asthma. And so I was going to go down to Miramar. That's a whole different story.
Now that's Top Gun right there. Now you're really going.
Man, that was good stuff. But mine was more I'm an
seaman or
whatchamacallit?
Navy SEAL.
No, I work with numbers better, so I'm an analytical.
Nice. Okay.
So my scores were higher that way. So
nice.
nuclear program.
Fun stuff. That's important stuff.
Yeah,
That's where all the smart kids are.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Tim, you know what? Your health sucks, so you're gonna have to bounce.
You're gonna have to bounce.
Yeah. But anyway.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah, So anyway, as far as Valerie goes, for all of us that are in real estate agents, she is one of our biggest go-to people for a lot of us in the Valley.
Aw.
So she's just always been able to bring resources to us that help out our clients. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that the sales are efficient and that they go through smoothly. And she's always found ways to make that transition a
Yeah.
little better. Every time I see her, she's always got another something. Hey, Tim, check this
I
out.
know, we have so many tools at our disposal, but I think, the premise for your audience, I work on the title side, so we work in conjunction with the realtor and the lender in closing a transaction, whether it's buy, sell, refinance. We're the third party, neutral third party that helps facilitate everything from start to finish, but the real estate agent brings it in, and then we are known as the closers.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're like the closers.
So title is more like the hub.
Yeah.
Everything has to go through title in order to get the transition done.
Correct. We insure the transaction, we insure the property. So, when you say title and escrow, it's not sexy when you say title insurance, like, it's just not sexy. But the reality is like we're the neutral third party that helps facilitate the transaction that your agent brings to the table. So that's probably the easiest way to explain what we do, aside from the logistics of insurance, like what is insurance and why. We'll kind of dive into that a little bit, but yeah, it's not as sexy as their role for sure.
Oh, yeah. Our
Yeah,
sexy
their role is much
Negotiating
sexier than
sexy,
ours. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Just ooze out the sexiness.
Oh, that's pretty scary. It was all due to my hairdo. What can I say?
Sorry, we get off on a tangent.
Well, we can't help ourselves sometimes. But anyway, we're going to jump in and tell you guys
Yes.
what title does and the kind of troubles that they run into sometimes that people don't realize when they go to sell a house, what they need to line up first in order to get through what we call clear title.
Mm-hmm.
So in the state of Nevada, you have to have clear title.
You do have to have title. When you're purchasing cash, you have the option not to have title insurance, but what you're doing then is you're not insuring the property for any liens or judgments that come after. A prime example, if there was a contractor that had worked on the property previously to you buying it, and say they place a lien on the property, which is, can be done through various ways. And anybody can record a lien on a property. So if they were to record a lien on a property, us, the title insurer, would come in and actually fight on behalf of that client to ensure that original buyer, has clear title and that nobody else can come after their property. So that's kind of like I don't want to say the easy answer, but we insure so that nobody else can come after you or take the property from you. So that's what it means to say clear title. And yes, cash, they can waive it, but it's highly, we don't ever recommend not.
We
It's
never
almost like
recommend
not
that one.
having medical insurance.
Could you imagine during like the
Yeah.
short sales and foreclosures, if you just decided,
Well-
even as a cash buyer, to go, you know what?
You
I'll
know
just
what's crazy is
waive the
that-
title insurance.
Well, and it's crazy because
That
we
would've
see
been
it a
nuts.
lot. People they want to save. It's a one-time fee too, which is different. You pay
Right.
one time at the close of escrow and then you don't pay. It's good for the life of the loan until you refinance or buy again. But it's it baffles me because anybody can go and put a lien on a property. So
Right.
you've got a lot of people that could have that power over your biggest asset, which is your home. So highly recommend against not ever waiving that portion should you be paying cash on a property. But yeah, just kind of.
Here's an
nitty-gritty.
example for you. Say that somebody passes away and they've got siblings that you need to sell a property, and there's interests that are in that could be in that property. So it's that type of stuff that you're protecting against, and you have to clear all that stuff up firsthand. And when you have a real estate agent at first, most experienced agents are going to ask you questions up front to prompt to see what possible title issues you might have going forward.
Right.
And sometimes they get past us, and we have to go to Valerie, and believe me, we've
Sort
actually
it out.
been in
Yeah, you've got
escrow before and have come up with a title issue, and it's like, okay, Valerie,
Yeah.
we got this particular issue, and she jumps right in and makes sure that we get where we need to be.
It's interesting because you talked about that. One of the questions that we were going to talk about was how to add or take someone off title, and that is probably the biggest question that I get every day is, Tim, how do I add my sister on, or how do I add my daughter on? That's basically like one of the biggest things that we get all the time. Know that when you do change your title from when you originally did it, it does void the title policy unless you get an Alta policy. Luckily, at Chicago Title, we issue Alta policies on everything, so you're covered automatically. So a consumer doesn't have to know that verbiage, but know that when you're with a smaller title company, sometimes they'll give you the option, and most people choose the cheaper option. The cheaper option would not cover in the event you were to change vesting. And vesting is very important because, like, why? If Tim were to add on, let's just say Tim's going to add on the sister. Sister, we'll call her, I don't know, do you have a sister?
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah.
So we're going to add on Michelle at the, he wants to add on Michelle. We add on Michelle, and then unfortunately Tim dies, right? What happens? That we
just
hope
killed
that
me
never
off.
happens. But let's just say Tim dies. The little verbiage of with rider survivorship, which is what needs to get recorded after, on the paperwork, which is what title would do. That little verbiage saves you from probate. That little with right
Isn't
of
that crazy?
survivorship, just that little rider survivorship. Like, it sounds so menial, but what that does is that gives the next person on title, the right to do whatever they can do with the property, sell it, refinance it, whatever, without having to go through probate. And that's big because most people have to go through probate, and probate requires an attorney. You got to go through the court process to issue who has the rightful ownership of the property. It can be very costly and extensive in time. So little things like that title
Yeah,
can
so
help you out.
if you take the effort up front, then it's going to save you all that time and effort and money down the road.
And the biggest thing is to tell Tim, to let Tim know, hey, can you do a vesting check for me? Thinking about doing this or that. Definitely reach out to Tim so that he can actually help you with the correct verbiage, the correct vesting, the correct recording, and the correct direction of where you hope the property to go to in the event someone passes. God forbid, but unfortunately right now we're seeing a lot of that, and it's
COVID
very
has not been
unfortunate.
nice.
No.
So
Yeah.
we're finding more and more that people were not expecting that a family member would pass away as soon as they did. And so it's becoming more of something that's up at the front of your mind.
Yes.
To make sure that you get it covered.
And little things like that you don't think about, right? You don't think
Right.
about how you're vested on title, like who cares, but that little thing would save your family members and yourself a lot of grief in the end.
Another one is divorce. So when you're going through a divorce, you need to have that divorce decree, those type of documents up front, so that way you don't have title issues going down the road. The worst thing you can do is if you're going through a divorce with somebody, you decide, I'm going to sell the house. And then you're stuck in the middle of escrow, and you've got the other side, the other spouse going, I'm not going to sign off on my interest on the house.
Right.
Now you're stuck. So that's the kind of stuff you want to address up front.
Well, and that's a good point because title won't let you. Like, title
Right.
won't let the other spouse
can't go
sell
forward.
without the other person on title signing off on because they're rightfully due monies or no money, depending on whatever the agreement is. But title will be that third-party mediator that will actually say, no, Tim, you can't sell without, Sally's signature. And so that gets pretty sticky when it comes to divorce, and it happens quite a bit.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Another one is LLCs,
Oh,
trusts.
LLCs and trusts, big one in Nevada because everybody has an LLC, everybody has a trust, everybody wants to put their ownership in an LLC or trust. But doing so, again, you have to have the right paperwork, which means you got to get Tim and title, all the paperwork of like who are the members of the LLC, do they have, what is their signing rights on it? One member of an LLC can't, if they're able to sign on behalf of the other members, like title needs to see who is able to sign. It's not as easy as it sounds, but it's doable. One of the things too that we came across and we chatted about briefly yesterday was uninsured deeds. So whenever you do any of this that we're talking about outside of escrow, outside of buying or refinancing, it's called an uninsured deed. And an uninsured deed would need a validity statement from the people that you originally did the deed from. So lots of moving parts. The easiest thing to say would be just to get with Tim and to, talk to him about the situation. And then Tim would call us and then we would help navigate, through the best course of action. Because doing it on your own, going through the recorder or doing the online help, 99% of those are done incorrectly.
Yeah, and you don't want to be stuck there trying to learn the will over when you've got somebody right in front of you. So make sure that you get with an experienced real estate agent. Even if you don't use me,
Yeah.
there's plenty of experienced real estate agents in the Las Vegas Valley. And she knows plenty of them as well.
I do.
We've got a great
Yeah.
crew
We
in
do have a
Las
great
Vegas.
crew, but being with you, he's literally one of the best. So if you guys are watching this on his feed, reach out to him with any questions.
She loves me. She's awesome. Thank goodness.
I love your wife.
Yes, she does
I
love
love
my
your
wife too.
wife,
Those
yeah.
two would, I get kicked to the curb whenever
I
they
love
start
his
talking,
wife.
it's just like, I'm over here, you guys.
7-year cancer survivor. Like,
Yes,
yeah, you can't,
she's been kicking some
yeah.
booty.
can't fault her. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Love
where
you,
are we?
baby.
Yeah, I know. So we talked about title and escrow enough. Like I said, it's not sexy. So let's talk about the market.
All right, let's talk about the market.
Let's talk about the market. Like, what is going on now? We
Man,
are currently.
Vegas is-
Are you going to date this? Are we going to date our?
Sure. Yeah,
February-ish.
Yeah,
February-ish?
we're actually, today is February 18th. It's my sister's birthday. So happy birthday, Michelle.
And as a birthday present, he's going to add you on title.
Yeah, oh, jeez. Just throw you right on. Why
Just
not,
kidding.
you know?
We used her as in a scenario, so just kidding. No.
I know. Now she's going to be hitting me up. What's my birthday present? Yeah.
Give you a title.
So let's talk about this
Yeah.
crazy market for a little bit.
Crazy market.
So since COVID, the market has definitely been very scarce
yeah.
as far as the inventory. And,
What
you
does
know,
that mean, Tim? What is that?
the scarcity. Okay, so right
Buyers.
now, well, let's take it back to March, April, May of last year. The interest rates went way down. In fact, they're the lowest that have ever been recorded in the United States history.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so we've been dipping under 3%. And so right now, I think when I checked this morning, it was 2.85. There's a site that I go to just to check nationally where things are sitting. And of course, it just depends on what your credit is and where you sit in that overall picture as to what kind of interest rate you're gonna get. But I digress. Let's go back to the market. So once that happened, everybody decided, you know what? We don't have that house that's got the pool, so let's go find one that's got the pool. Let's go find one that's got the RV parking.
Do you think it's because everybody was home?
I think everybody was like, that's it.
At home?
You know what, if we're
Ready
gonna be
to-
stuck at home,
yeah,
let's go get into
let's
a
go
place
get a new
that's
place,
big
yeah.
enough that can handle what we wanna
Well,
do.
and complete opposite of what we thought. We thought everything was gonna, be on hold. Everybody's gonna
Yeah.
pause, and it was kind of catastrophe on our end because we did some layoffs early on, and then we had to beef back up and bring everybody back because we didn't know. And
I think a
and
lot of
it
people did
created-
that. And how many
yeah.
people were working from home for you guys?
Well, after, so, with COVID, so March, April, we transitioned. I think, gosh, half of our people went home. And
Okay.
because with us, there's a lot of paperwork, printer, overnight docs. Like, we can't work from home, unfortunately, on those situations.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Signers coming in, and it was tough. But, yeah, I mean, so the market is on fire,
Market's
right?
on fire.
And sellers are getting, what, max dollar?
Well,
I mean,
they're getting max dollar, but you're no matter what market you're in, you're always going to have somebody that's going to always try to overextend it, and that's a lot of what small inventory that we do have. Half of that is stuff that's just not selling because you've got sellers that are like, well, the market says that my house is worth $350. I'm going to price it at $450 and see if I can get it, and
that's a lot.
that
That's a
doesn't
little bit.
happen. Because for one, most of the time it has to appraise. We still got, I don't know, probably 70-80% of it's finance buyers.
Yeah.
So anyway, right now, our current median price for single-family residentials is $350,000.
I thought that
Last-
wasn't it higher? I thought it was higher, no?
Well, last month, it was sitting at $345 at the end of January. So I cheated this morning and just to see
Yeah.
where things were sitting, and I just took the
$350?
inventory for SFRs, for
Okay.
single-family residential, and right now it's at $350.
Wow.
The list price for those that went under contract was at $359.
Wow.
So,
So 10 over, roughly 10 over.
right.
Or 9.
And I think, let's see here, the ones that are actually, let's see, on the market right now, there's 2,300 single-family residential homes on the market. Under contract, we have 4,881.
That's crazy. We're eating up our inventory, aren't we?
That's a lot more homes under contract than we have that are for
On the
sale.
market, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, we're gonna need more inventory just to help those buyers get into stuff. That puts sellers in a good position, but that's gonna jump into our next fund that we're gonna talk about. If you're a seller,
Yeah.
what do I do? What are my options?
Yeah. What are the options? Do we dare bring up the I word?
Oh,
Do we
yeah, well,
dare bring it up?
let's
Okay.
go for it.
So sellers right now are seeing offers, come across to them direct from big corporations,
Right.
And we'll use initials Z and we'll use initials O. Well, that's not even an initial. We'll use the first letter.
How about Offer Peddler?
Offer Peddler, Zillow,
and Open
Ziller?
Wallet,
Zillers, so
they will
we'll
just,
call
give
them
you
Zillers
some.
and Open Door. Okay, let's just
some
be
examples.
honest. Let's be honest. Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad.
Right.
So they are what's called the iBuyer. So the iBuyer sends an offer over to the seller, typically sight unseen, and they punch in the address and they do what's called an AVM, an automated valuation model, which basically comps the house, and then they put in their fees and whatnot and then send an offer back. There's not typically somebody that comes out to see the home. They don't do appraisal. It's considered an automated valuation.
Right.
So that's what's called an iBuyer. So they will basically say, I'll give you X amount of cash for your home. In exchange, be out in 10 days and be done. So they're selling probably the convenience, right? They're selling the convenience.
That's exactly
of
what
the-
they're marketing
yeah,
too, is the convenience of it.
Yeah, be done, no open houses. Sounds amazing to a seller. But, what Tim and I talk about all the time is convenience over price. Like how much more could the seller get should they list traditionally? And you could speak to that.
Sure. So at the end of the day, what do you ultimately want as a seller, as a consumer of selling your home? You want to get the best net for your property. You've been taking care of this home and watching it for years gather this equity. Now are you just going to give it away? So that's the kicker. So everybody gets these letters in the mail from investors all the time. Hey, I'd love to buy your house. And Vegas is very savvy with investors. They've got a lot of them out there. And the iBuyers are another section of those investors. And so you have to remember that's their goal at the end of the day. What are they going to do with it? So they're going to purchase your property, and then they're going to turn around within weeks, put it back on the market, and what are they getting to gain? They're going to gain your equity out of the house. Instead of you selling it and making that equity, they're going to capitalize on that extra money. So let's use an example of like our median price is $350,000, and
Did you do it on the handy dandy
I can
app?
actually go on to one of Valerie's awesome applications that she sends us and do that value. And I did it yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So did you save it? What was the?
Well, I didn't save it. I guess I should have saved it, but I remember this much. So you have to remember for them where you're taking a hit as far as a seller. It's the service fee, so that they don't charge you a commission, but they charge you a service fee. It's still a cost for selling real estate. That can be anywhere from 6 to 9.5% that we've seen. If we just take the average, which is what I think your company did, is they've taken the average service fee and other real estate costs, and they've also taken the hit that you're going to take because they're going to offer you less than what the market's actually worth. So I think on here, it averaged out to be 6% is what it was. If you take that into consideration, plus the repairs, lots of times they'll say, well,
repairs up front.
we're going to have to replace the carpet, or we're going to have to redo the kitchen.
Yep.
So we're going to subtract this X amount of dollars from your overall net, just so that way we can fix those when we got to get it back on the market.
They sell the convenience.
They
Right,
sell
they
the
sell the
convenience. It's
convenience, right.
their whole objective to you is to say, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you just give us your house and you can walk away from it. You tell us when you want to close. Not a bad gig. Now, if you're stuck in a distressed situation where you have to leave, we've also got investors that we can turn on to most of our sellers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, I know that your office has inside investors as well. So I think the thing to know is that they can come to you with those and you will still give them the iBuyer option via
Absolutely.
another set of investors that are basically doing the same thing that the others are doing.
Right, but just remember this, that's a rare situation. Most people have, that extra 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to sell their property to bank that extra cash. Now let's go back to the example we're using, that $350,000 home. In the scenario of what you would net using a real estate agent versus selling it to an iBuyer was right at $27,000.
Wow, really?
So
That's a lot, yeah.
$27,000.
That's a
Now,
lot.
who can afford a $350,000 home?
Yeah.
Typically, it's somebody that makes,
Right.
say, 80, 100,000 a year, something like that.
100, yeah.
So $27,000. That takes an average person, 3 or 4 months to make that money.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely money that deserves to go back in the seller's pocket.
I would think so. Or either that, or you put it back to your kids' college
Yeah.
tuition.
Whatever.
Go on a
Yeah.
trip to Fiji and then
Yeah,
go
when
around
it
the world
opens
for a
up.
while. Yeah, yeah, when it opens back up, that's for sure.
Or to the purchase of your new home.
Or to the purchase of your new home, just roll that equity into a better house.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, I always say, at the end of the day, you want to do what's best for you, right? I can't help it. Yeah.
No, I mean, you said it best. At the end of the day, that's his tagline. At the end of the day, call Tim.
Right, call Tim Lowe.
Call Tim Lowe.
And if you don't call Tim, call one of our other real estate professionals
for
in
sure.
the Valley.
Call a professional. I guess that's the.
And please call an experienced real estate professional in the Valley.
There's a
because
difference.
There
There's a
is. They're going to have the resources for you and partner up with people like Valerie to make sure that you're going to get the best experience possible with any real estate transaction.
Let's talk about for sale by owners. It's so funny. I don't see many of them like I used to in the past. And I don't know why that is, other than we're just lacking inventory. But, talk to me about, and your audience, about what a for sale by owner, like why would someone sell for sale by owner these days? And is it best for them to do that? And what are the advantages and disadvantages? Or
Sure.
clearly there's not, but talk to us about that.
Well, it always sounds great to go, you know what, I need to save money on that real estate commission. That can add up to a lot. I want to put that in my pocket. Well, we find that statistically, you take the numbers for all of the United States, if you like, and you run that compared to for sale by owners selling on their own and selling with a real estate agent. And you'll find that statistically, you'll sell the property for a lot more money. And the net, if you put one on one side and one on the other as far as a weigh scale goes, you're going to gain a lot more money when you use a real estate agent because they're able to bring in so many more buyers to the table, negotiate a qualified buyer to take care of that home or to at least go into escrow with to purchase the property. And now you're in a lot better control.
Yeah.
And you've got somebody that's experienced to oversee that 30 to 45 day escrow.
So I would say that, building on what you're saying, is the pool of buyers that you're going to bring forward to a for sale by owner is far greater than them doing it on their own.
Sure.
Because of the marketing experience that you guys have, because of the exposure, because of what you do full time is actually cultivate buyers. So to me, that would be my thing that I would say, right? And what I've seen in the industry is typically a for sale by owner, they don't have somebody advocating for them too while they get into escrow. And we handle for sale by owners in escrow. And I can tell you that 99% of the time they are frustrated, they don't understand the process, and it's really hard for a title and escrow company to kind of go over the role of an agent. And that's kind of what we take the place of sometimes, where it's really hard for us because we're not licensed agents to do that. So I would say the expertise that you guys lend throughout the process and guiding them through the process, along with the pool of buyers, in my opinion, would be the biggest win for somebody to not go for sale by owner and to list versus a FSBO.
Yeah, we've heard of plenty horror stories where you've had for sale by owners go through the process and realize that there's a lot more that goes into negotiating. Inspections, appraisals, repairs,
and all of that.
title issues.
Yeah.
These are all issues that an experienced real estate agent is able to handle and make sellers aware of.
It's almost like going to the doctor. Like, everybody can get all the information online these days to what is wrong with you, right? I mean, you could typically find everything online, but it doesn't take the place of going to the doctor and actually getting treated. To me, that's what a real estate agent is they're the doctor in a transaction. Yes, you can get everything online, but it is not the same as actually going to a professional and seeing it through. That's how I equate it.
No, very true. And especially even when it comes to marketing, just that initial part of that whole equation of getting it out there on the market.
Yeah.
It's professional photo shoots. Most agents are going to do it the correct way and make sure that it's got a good online presence
Yeah.
and all the different forums that it needs to go on, so that way you have more of a buyer pool to pull from.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of sites that you guys put those.
Oh man,
Yeah, so
and it's
look-
taken years to
Yeah.
gather up all these different sites, so that way we
it's
get
not
all that
something
coverage.
a consumer would know, right? I
No,
mean,
not
it's
offhand most of the time. It's and as you see the numbers for where they end up as far as their overall net profit on a for sale by owner versus a realtor, man, you look at that and go, why would I do that? So don't take my word for it. You can look it up. The stats are there. But yeah,
that's exciting.
that's just another
Another
thing to bring
reason
to
why
your
to call
attention.
Tim.
Hey, there you go. Thanks again for the plug.
Well, thank you, Tim. It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, you've covered a lot. There's a lot to digest here, so.
We could party with all kinds of
We
stuff.
could, yeah, we could. Are you gonna part with
Yeah.
the words?
Yes, we're gonna
words?
part with
Oh,
what
we
we've got already.
Words. Okay, let's part.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna part and party on to the next part, but yes, just wanted you guys to at least be able to meet Valerie Grijalva. She's a gem, and I'm so glad she's in my corner because
Oh, thank you. As I'm glad that you're in my corner as well.
Yeah, thank
Glad
you
you're
very
one of
much.
our preferred partners.
you rock. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So if you guys ever have any title questions,
Call
just
Tim.
call me. I'll reach out to Valerie. If I don't have the answer for you, we'll get it covered. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this particular episode, and we'll see you sooner than later. Take care.